Hello everybody out there watching on YouTube, and welcome to race number 16 of Season 7 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Continental Tire Challenge here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, as we're getting set for 17 laps of racing here at one of the most controversial road courses in the history of motorsports, for obvious reasons. But with that said, let's actually take a look at a recap of the point standings after our last race, which was at North Wilkesboro. Jesse Turner still leads the points, but leads by 10 points over Caleb Kilburn, so it's still Average Joe Enterprises 1-2 in points, as you are also seeing the starting lineup for the race. Dylan Jacobs gets his first pole of the season, and Melissa Alexander, the winner from North Wilkesboro, will be starting in second. So that is a look at your starting lineup and a recap of the points. Let's get the command to fire engines for the Canadian Tire race, the Continental Tire Challenge.
Drivers, start your engines!
All 40 drivers getting ready to come out of the final corners to get the green flag and get this race underway. And right behind the front row, we have Curtis McIntyre Racing teammates in the second row, Joshua Cooley, Jonathan Zorline. But boogity, 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 let's go racing in Canada! Well, Dylan Jacobs led the first lap as Melissa Alexander really stumbled at the start of that race. And now we may have a battle going on for second. Jonathan Zorline moved himself up to second, but right behind him is rookie Clint Spillman in that 60 car, as Spillman's trying to find a way around the 41 of Zorline to try and get to that second position. Now, keep this in mind, with pit frequency being set to 3x for this race, we'll probably see some pit stops during the race, considering there are no cautions on road courses. As Spillman is just riding on the back bumper of Zorline, as Spillman kind of stumbled a little bit. Joshua Cooley tried to maybe make a move on Spillman, but to no avail. Meanwhile, I saw Melissa Alexander get taken 3 wide and put into the grass as she started in second. And ever since the green flag dropped, I don't know if there's just something wrong with her car or she just wasn't really prepared for this race. Something is up with the 28, I will say that. Back up here at the front, we may have a 3-car fight for the race lead as they were all right onto each other. Dylan Jacobs trying to hold off 2 charging cars as I see a car on pit road. We'll take a look at who that is in just a moment. But Dylan Jacobs so far has led both laps, but it hasn't been easy as Zorleen and Spillman, they were right there to the back bumper of the 78 through the final corners. But alright, so Cole Baker was involved in whatever had happened. Same with Dylan Young, and Dylan Young's coming into pit road. It was Julia Katrine who was on pit road. Chris Dollarton with damage, so too does Jordan Forbes. Oh, and Melissa Alexander and Cody Lamas have crashed. And Lamas teleports to pit road, so something went wrong between those two. And I saw damage on Rafael Leduc's machine. As it looks like some drivers might be going a little bit too aggressive all around the track. Now we get back up here to the front of the field. Dylan Jacobs still leads. Clint Spillman's kind of faltered a little bit, but Zorleen literally riding on that back bumper of the 78, maybe trying to go for a little bump and run to make a pass. I don't know, but he just continues to be right on him. Although Cole Baker might be in the way, so this battle for the lead might get even crazier as a result of Cole Baker might possibly be in the way. Dylan Young coming on and off pit road to repair any damage his car sustained and whatever had happened, but we don't ever go back to look at the replays of the cautions. But according to scoring, Carson Gum is the only car out of the race right now, as he must have been one of the people involved in an incident with Julia Katrine. So tough break for Carson Gum. Meanwhile, it's a 3-car train up here at the front of the field, all fighting for position. And now Zorleen trying to take a peek on Dylan Jacobs, but Jacobs going to have the advantage because it's a right-hander and then another right-hander. And Zorleen kind of gets into the grass a little bit, but stayed mostly on the rumble strips. So he's going to be able to maintain himself on the racetrack for now. And Zorleen, he's just been riding on the back bumper of the 78. I don't know if he's playing mind games with Dylan Jacobs or he's just hanging out behind him and waiting for the right moment to make the pass for the spot. But he might have wasted it because look at Clint Spillman trying to take that second position away from the 41. And Spillman takes the position for now. Although Zorleen's not giving up easily. As we've completed 4 laps, we're on lap 5. As this little battle heats on, and now Spillman actually has a run on Dylan Jacobs to try and take the lead. So this would be our first lead change of the race if it were to go through all the way for the 60 of Clint Spillman. And they're going to approach, and he actually does clear Jacobs before they even get into the right-hander right here. So Clint Spillman, new leader of the races. Dylan Jacobs now trying to not only hold off Jonathan Zorleen, but also perhaps trying to run back down the 60 and trying to get the lead back. Although they are all in a train right now, which we've seen quite a bit, and Dylan Jacobs managed to stay on to the pavement, but Spillman did a good job hanging on top of the rumble strips. And Cole Baker has still been maintaining himself as the last car on the lead lap in the 36th spot. Although, according to scoring, Kyle Matthews is out of the race. So something must have happened with him, hence why he's out. Meanwhile, this battle continues to rage on, but Spillman's enjoying watching the 78 and the 41 go at it, as he's starting to pull away a little bit from the 78 and the 41. 5 laps have been completed. We're on lap 6, so we still have 12 laps to go in this race. Still a long, long way to go. Meanwhile, Jonathan Zorlin tried to go as low as he possibly could without hitting the wall to try and make a pass on Dylan Jacobs for second, but didn't really get much going for him in that moment. And actually, with these two battling it out, this is kind of opening the door a little bit for Joshua Sekuli to perhaps catch up to the top three and maybe make it a 4-car battle. Well, technically a 3-car battle for second, as Spillman's starting to check out a little bit from everyone behind him. So the full field rundown currently, as we have this time before green flag, or before pit stops were to happen, it's Clint Spillman in the lead, second Dylan Jacobs, third Jonathan Zorlin, fourth Joshua Sekuli, fifth is Jay Jefferson. Sixth is Jessica Sheldon, seventh is James Shelley, 8th, Charles Sanford. 9th, we got a battle between teammates, Johnny Gardner, and then 10th, Rob Evans. 11th is Michael Norman. 12th, Benjamin Miles. 13th, Ricky Carman. 14th, Jesse Turner. 15th, Cole Deaver. 16th... Oh, and a... Wow, how in the world did they save that? Qualls almost got turned by DJ Curtis, and somehow, some way, they kept it together. See here across the line, see where I was. So Qualls was 16th, 17th is DJ Curtis, 18th Matt McIntyre, 19th is Raphael Fireblade, 20th is Seth Cole, 21st Zachary Fitzwater, 22nd is Ryan Acosta, 23rd Alyssa Drayson, 24th Jake Rogers, 25th Caleb Kilburn, 26th Hannah Klein, 27th Raphael Leduc, 28th, Artur Castanha. 29th, Chris Dollarton. 30th, according to scoring, was Joey Parkhill, but he's on pit road, damaged too. So something happened with him. And then Henry Sanford, Jordan Forbes, Melissa Alexander is still going, and then Cole Baker. Those are the last of the cars that are on track. Zach Rogers is out of the race, according to scoring. So we got our guaranteed bottom 5. Zach Rogers, Kyle Matthews, Cody Lamas, Julia Katrine, and Carson Gunn. But it seems like an incident happened perhaps between Zach Rogers and Joey Parkhill, hence why they are both now out of the race. Clint Spillman continuing to pull away with the race lead as this battle for second continues between Dylan Jacobs and Jonathan Zorlin. Jacobs right now has the advantage running the bottom into this right-hander. And then behind that, we have a battle going on for the 4th position between Jay Jefferson and Jessica Sheldon. And this would be a great day for Jessica Sheldon points-wise. She came into this race 3rd in points, 28 points out of 1st. So, depending on where Jesse Turner and Caleb Kilburn finish, she could either at least get close to the points lead or take the points lead. Going into our next race, which will be at a brand new track, Connecticut, which will be quite interesting to say the least, considering it's, I believe it's called Connecticut Brickyard Park, which is essentially a crazier version of Rockingham, so we'll see how that will turn out. But right now, Clint Spillman having a career best day, as he's been actually stepping up his game a little bit for the past few races and trying to go for his first career win in the Marvel Studios Cup Series. Couple of cars on pit road, that tells me perhaps starting this time by, green flag pit stops will commence. So it'll be close for some people on gas, so it's going to be interesting to see when we get down to the final laps of the race who's going to be able to make it on gas and who had the best strategy. Watching Clint Spillman, he's coming in. Jay Jefferson's actually been able to make a couple passes as he moved up to 3rd. Looks like everyone in the top 10 is coming in, although Ricky Carman going to stay out. Alyssa Drayson going to stay out. And I see damage on Jesse Turner's machine. Yeah, it looks like the only two people are elected to stay out an extra lap are Alyssa Drayson and Ricky Carman. So Ricky Carman currently is the leader, and then Alyssa Drayson in second. We're going to stay on the pace car to watch who's going to come out of pit road first, and it looks like it's going to be Clint Spillman, then it's going to be Jonathan Zorline, Jay Jefferson, then Dylan Jacobs, but slow on exit. Might actually lose a couple of more spots, and Sheldon actually got out ahead, but if this were to become the battle for second, this is what it would be like, and Jay Jefferson going to clear the 41 of Jonathan Zorline. So Jefferson would perhaps be up to second once all the pit stops conclude, but Clint Spillman got out ahead of that first group as we watch Ricky Carman going through the woods here as he's currently the leader, and then Alyssa Drayson in second, and then Spillman would be third. And Spillman's not too far behind Alyssa Drayson, in fact. So if I were the 51 and the 90, I would just get 2 tires and gas. That would be all I would go for in hopes of maintaining top 2 position on track. Watching these two, and yes, they are both coming into pit road now. Cole Baker's in pit road now, so too is Melissa Alexander. Alright, so I'm watching the 51. Let's see what he does. So far, he's going with 2 left sides. And nope, he's going 4 tires and gas. Same with the 90 of Alyssa Drayson, but that cycles the lead back to Clint Spillman, although he's going to possibly deal with Cole Baker, who's a lapped car, as Baker has kind of been a bit of a thorn in the side of Clint Spillman this whole race, as he'd been like all around him for quite a bit. But look who's in second and closing in on the 60, and that's Jay Jefferson in the 5. And Jay Jefferson, I believe, has already got a victory this season. I just can't remember off the top of my head where it was, but speaking of Jay Jefferson, he comes into this race 18th in points. He moved back into the top 20 in points after North Wilkesboro. And right now he's trying to find a way around the lapped machine of Cole Baker, and it looks like he's going to finally get around him. So now he can focus his attention on trying to close in on Clint Spillman to get the win. So now the full field rundown as it stands now, as the pit stops have concluded. Clint Spillman is your race leader. Second is Jay Jefferson. Third, Jonathan Zorline. Fourth, Jessica Shelton. Fifth, Dylan Jacobs. Although Jacobs into Baker, trying to move him out of the way, but in turn that helped for Charles Sanford to make a run on Dylan Jacobs for that 5th position. But anyways, 7th is Benjamin Miles. 8th, we got a battle, and it looks like for now it's going to be James Shelley. 9th, Joshua Sekuli. 10th, Ricky Carman. 11th is Johnny Gardner. 12th, Cole Deaver. 13th, Alyssa Drayson. 14th, DJ Curtis. 15th, Matt McIntyre. 16th, Michael Norman. 17th, Raphael Fireblade. 18th, Rob Evans. 19th, Zachary Fitzwater. 20th, James Qualls. 21st, Jake Rogers. 22nd, Ryan Acosta. 23rd, Hannah Klein. 24th, Artur Castanha. 25th, Caleb Kilburn. 26th is Seth Cole. 27th is Raphael Fireblade. 28th, Jesse Turner. 29th is Chris Dollarton. 30th, Jordan Forbes. 31st, Henry Sanford. And then 32nd, Melissa Alexander. And then 2 cars a lap down somewhere in the field is Cole Baker and Dylan Young. And we got 6 cars out of the race, but Joey Parkhill was the lucky one to get points. Everyone else will not get points that are out of the race. Back up here at the front, Clint Spillman still leads for now, but Jay Jefferson has been slowly closing in cutting away on that lead that Spillman has. Last time by it was 2.1 seconds. Now it is 1 second. So Jefferson was able to close in over 1 second that previous lap. So yeah, Jay Jefferson definitely seems to have gotten his cars seem to have gotten better since the pit stops have happened. Then again, he was gradually gaining spot after spot before the pit stops, but now he's just really pushing in. You can definitely tell he's faster and better in the corners than the 60 of Clint Spillman. I feel like perhaps Spillman might have used up his stuff a little bit too soon, and Jay Jefferson's just been in conservative mode, and in fact, he actually has the fastest lap of the race, as he just ran his fastest lap that previous lap at a 1 minute 31 seconds .949. And look at this, Jefferson continues to close in as he's a couple of car lengths behind. Yeah, to about maybe 2 car lengths behind Spillman, at least at the moment. But now look at Jefferson go side by side for the lead. Jay Jefferson's car has really come alive since starting. I can't remember where he started in the qualifying, but now it's paid off and he's in the lead. Although, oh my goodness gracious, I just saw that. That is going to be a teammate rivalry waiting to happen. Charles Sanford just dumped Jessica Shelton, and Shelton had a top 5 run going. Now, because of her teammate, that's not going to happen. There is definitely going to be some problems between those two going forward. That is really unfortunate. Johnny Gardner, he's actually now a lap down. I don't know what happened with him. Raphael Fireblade is out of the race now, according to the scoring monitor. Meanwhile, Jay Jefferson, yes, is now the race leader, as he's now beginning to pull away from Clint Spillman. But now Spillman, he's going to have to figure out what he's going to have to do to try and take the lead back, as it's less than... I believe it's less than 5 laps to go now. But man, I can't believe what I just witnessed. Charles Sanford dumping his teammate, Jessica Shelton, to try and get up to 5th. Yeah, like I said, I can definitely tell there's a rivalry brewing within S3 Motorsports now. And actually, Sanford would now be up to 4th as he actually passed Jonathan Zorline to take position. As the field's somewhat spread out now after all this chaos that has been taking place before our eyes. And yes, Jessica Shelton has officially put her car over the wall, and that's a shame. She had a top 5 run going and was hopeful to try to get the points lead back, or at least get closer to the points lead. Now she's going to have to wait another race to try and make that accomplishment happen. But that was a big sigh of relief for drivers like Jesse Turner and Caleb Kilburn, who are hoping for Shelton to have a bad run so that way they can maintain their spots in the top 2 in points. But back up here at the front, Jay Jefferson, I don't know what's up with his car, but his car has just been on fire pretty much since the drop of the green flag, and in all honesty, because like, he was gradually closing in on the top 2 even before the caution came out. And then once the green flag, and then once the pit stops happened, you just knew that they probably made a massive adjustment to that car and was able to just really close in on Clint Spillman. And now you can definitely tell how much faster he is on track, because now look at the margin of the lead he's building now over Spillman. Last time by it was a little over a second. Now, stupid sticky keys, I apologize. The frame should settle back out here in a moment. There we go. Yeah, the stupid sticky keys. Anyway, so now Jefferson leads by 3 seconds pretty much at this point over the 60. As it's now less than 3 laps to go, and I'm looking around to see if there's any other heated battles going on. We might see one here, and this would be for the sixth position between Joshua Sekuli and Benjamin Miles, as Miles is trying to figure out how to get to the 00, but the 00 seems to be a little bit faster than the 22. And then the next closest battle I can find, maybe right here for the 11th position between Zachary Fitzwater and Michael Norman. And then there's this big cluster of cars from 14th on back that are battling for 14th. James Qualls trying to hold off Ryan Acosta, but Ryan Acosta is right there. Man, this is a large group of cars fighting it out for position right here. Everybody from Matt McIntyre on back to Caleb Kilburn. That's about 8 cars fighting it out for positions. Although we may have a battle going on for the 9th spot, Alyssa Drayson, although stuck behind the damaged car of Dylan Young, trying to get around Cole Deaver for position, but Dylan Young trying to defend himself on track, although I just don't know. Whoa, nearly a crash. Alyssa Drayson about got into Cole Deaver and turned him into Dylan Young. That could have been bad, although Dylan Young into the wall as Alyssa Drayson's trying to move the 2 out of the way. And the 2 hits the wall, but Alyssa Drayson cost herself a top 10 finish, as she lost a spot to Zachary Fitzwater. As chaos continues to ensue here at Canada. As I'm looking around, Alyssa Drayson trying to fight back into the top 10 as she's now side by side with Zachary Fitzwater. But man, I can't believe she did that to herself. Ended up turning Dylan Young into the wall. Let's see where the 2 is now. There he is, off track, trying to get out of everyone's way. After she got... wow, I am an idiot. After he got turned into the wall by the 90. But back up here at the front, we're going to stay up here at the front for the rest of the races, as Jay Jefferson's lead continues to grow and the white flag is out. Man, I gotta tell you, Jay Jefferson, this might be his most impressive win to date in the Marvel Studios Cup Series, considering I don't remember where he started, but he kept gaining gradually a position after position on track, and then before the pit stops happened, he got up to 3rd, then got out of the pits, beat out Jonathan Zorling, and then just took his time, closed in on Clint Spillman, made the pass, and now he's pulling away from Spillman. Last time by, it was a 5-second lead, and in fact, Spillman might actually have a competitor battling for second, as Dylan Jacobs trying to close in on Spillman to try and at least finish in the 2nd position. I don't know if he'll have enough time to get to him before the checkered flag, but he's going to give it a shot, although he also has Johnny Gardner behind him, who is a lap down. But regardless, still good finishes nonetheless for those 2. But Jay Jefferson looking for his 2nd win of the season. Getting ready to come through the final corners of the track to finish off the Continental Tire Challenge here at Canadian Tire. Getting ready to come out of the final corner, and the checkered flag will be waving. Checkered flag waves. Jay Jefferson wins the Continental Tire Challenge at Canadian Tire. Like I said, perhaps his most impressive win in his career. Like I said, I don't remember where he started, but he was able to take positions away bit by bit before the pit stops, and then just after the pit stops, his car really came to life. was able to beat out Zorlin for second and then close in on Spillman, take the lead, and then pull away and win the race by nearly 6 seconds. Unbelievable. But let's take a look at the rest of the results. Clint Spillman, who was perhaps the most dominant driver of the race, still great run in second as his good luck streak continues as he finishes in second. Dylan Jacobs, so close to getting his first win in quite a while, still a great points day in third. Charles Sanford, despite controversy, gets a great run in the 4th position, and then Jonathan Zorlin with a solid performance in the 5th spot. Finishing in the 6th position was Joshua Sekuli. Great run in 7th for Benjamin Miles. Alyssa Drayson managed to fight her way back and actually get a better finish than she thought in the 8th spot. James Shelley with her solid performance in 9th, and then Cole Deaver rounding out the top 10. Then there's your top 20, top 30, and then all the drivers that were out of the race, but the bottom 5 for this week were Zach Rogers, Kyle Matthews, Cody Lamas, Julia Katrine, and Carson Gum, as you are watching Jay Jefferson's victory burnout to celebrate his 2nd win of the season. And what a win it was. But with that said, next time we come back, it will be at Connecticut Brickyard Park. But until then, here are your results, rookie points and regular points heading into Connecticut. And this is Levi McIntyre signing off.